Well, the next two stories are stories I really love to tell. I found a book that I enjoyed. It was called The Devil's Storybook by Natalie Babbitt, and there's some wonderful stories in there. So, any of you out there who've got kids, get that book for them. In fact, one of my daughters asked for it again for this year for Christmas, and she's getting up there. So, it is a good book. But it seems that one time the devil was just knocking about his house, and he was at loose ends at sixes and sevens, and he was bored, and he was thinking to himself, I got to find some way of creating some devilment around here. If not here, somewhere else anyway. And he thinks about it, and he gets an idea. And he goes rummaging around, and he finds himself a fairy godmother costume. And then he wishes himself up on the face of the earth, and he's looking around for someone to mess with. His plan is he'll just see if he can grant wishes and see what kind of trouble people will get into with it. Well, he's not up there long before an old woman comes down the road grumbling to herself, carrying a bundle, and the devil in his costume says in his best fairy godmother voice, "It's a beautiful day, isn't it?" And the woman said, "It is not. Terrible day. Been terrible. I have had a terrible one. In fact, come to think of it, it's been a terrible 20 years. No, it's not a beautiful day." The devil says, "Well, since you've had such a hard life, I'm a fairy godmother, and I will grant you one wish." "You're going to grant me a wish?" "Yes." "You're a fairy godmother?" "Yes, I am." "Well, since I don't believe in fairy godmothers, I wish you'd go back where you came from and leave me alone." And with that, poof, the devil back home. Well, I did say she had a wish, and I can tell she's going to be down here in a little bit. But I'd be careful. She's going to be running this place. But I will see her again, I know that. Well, he wishes himself back up in the earth, straightens his wings in his dress, and he's walking down the road, and he sees a little old man just sitting on a rock, looking up at the blue sky and the clouds. And he's got such a peaceful look on his face, and the devil doesn't like that. So he comes up to him and says, "It's a beautiful day, isn't it?" The man said, "Oh, yes, it is. It is a beautiful day. Oh, it's been nice all week. It's been a great month, a great year. In fact, I got to tell you, it's been a great time for the last 20 years or so. Much longer than that. Beautiful." And the devil says, "I've definitely got to mess with this." So he says, "I'm a fairy godmother," in his best fairy godmother voice. "And since you've had such a wonderful life, you deserve to have a wish. So I'm granting you one wish." "You're granting me a wish? Oh, I don't know what I would wish for." "Well, you are an old man. Getting on in years, you don't have much time left. You could wish to be a boy again." "Oh, I had such fun when I was a boy, out playing with my friends and everything, but I was dumb and stupid. I would get in so much trouble. No, I wouldn't want to be a boy again." "Well, you could wish that you were in your 20s, just coming into your prime and starting your way in the world." Oh, those were good years too. I found a good wife, started making a good life for myself, but oh, I had to work hard to make things meet. I wouldn't want to be back in my 20s again. No, 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 no. Well, how about this? In your 40s or 50, you're full manhood, you got your family around you, you've made your business and your way in the world. How about that? Oh, that was good too. Yep. Had my wife and my kids all growing up. We had a great life. But I had to work hard there too, because people came to me with their problems and I had to help them with that. And they asked me in the town to take care of business and all, so I had a lot of burdens I had to carry. No, I wouldn't like to go back to them. Well, what age would you like to be? The old man says, well, what I am now. I didn't ask to be any other age. The devil says, I take it back. You don't have any wishes. Oh, I thought not, said the old man, and he went back to watching the skies and the clouds. The devil went on down the road, kind of upset. He hadn't found anybody he could try any devilment on, but he got lucky, because as he's going down the road, up the road comes a man on a horse, and he's dressed in fine clothes. And he's just trotting along, and he's so pleased with himself, he's even looking in a mirror, thinking how pretty he looks, how handsome he is. And he says, this is it. So the devil comes up to him, straightening his wings, and he says, hello, you are such a handsome young man. To look at you is wonderful. I'm a fairy godmother, and I am going to grant you a wish. You're a fairy godmother? Yes, I am. You're going to give me a wish? Yes, you have one wish. Oh, that's wonderful, the young man thought. Oh, what could I wish for? I could wish for more money to buy more clothes. But wait a minute, what's money without love? Maybe I should wish for some beautiful woman to fall in love with me. Or what's the use of having somebody like that and having ill health? Maybe I should wish for good. What should I wish for? I wish somebody would tell me what to wish for. Well, said the devil in his best fairy godmother voice, when one only has one wish, it's best to wish for more wishes. That's it. I wish I had more wishes. I'm sorry, you don't have any wishes. But you said I had a wish. It says, yes, but you used it up when you said you wish for someone to tell you what to wish for. And I did. Bye. And the devil went home laughing. Oh, no. He'd finally found somebody to fool. And that's the story, Wishes. Now, before I go into this next story, I want to preface it by saying that when I grew up in the Pacific Northwest for 4 years, we lived on Sauvie Island in the middle of the Columbia. And where we lived, we had this big walnut tree, and I love walnuts. And I thought nobody could love walnuts more than me until I read Natalie Babbitt's book, Devil's Storybook. And that book showed how the devil's favorite food was walnuts, even more than I love walnuts. Well, one day the devil is sitting on his throne in his throne room, because even the devil has a throne and a throne room. And he's sitting there and he's looking, glaring at a 50-pound bag of walnuts. He's not eating them, he's just glaring at them. Because as much as the devil loves walnuts, that's how much he hates cracking them. So he's sitting there thinking, how can I get somebody to crack these walnuts for me? You see, if I had a throne, or you had a throne, we'd just say to somebody, you crack these walnuts for me, and they'd say, yes, sir, and they'd get about doing it. But the devil, he has to trick people into doing things, because that's what makes the devil the devil. So he's sitting there, and all of a sudden he's got it. He jumps up off his throne, goes out in the hall, runs down to his treasure room, because even the devil has a treasure room, goes in there, and he rummages on the shelf, and he finds a pearl, a perfectly round, luminous pearl. And he goes running back to his throne room, pulls out a big old walnut, and he takes a penknife, and you know how walnuts have the seam on the side, and he very gently slices it open and squeezes it just enough to where he can pop that pearl in and then closes it up, and he puts that pearl in his pocket, grabs that bag of walnuts, and disguises himself as a little old man and wishes himself up in the face of the earth. And he finds himself on a country road, and he sits down, leans back against a tree, and puts that bag of walnuts there. And he takes that walnut out that's got the pearl in it, and he puts it right on top. See, his plan is this. He knows how greedy we people are. And all he'll have to do is give that one walnut to somebody. They'll crack it open, find the pearl. They'll spend the rest of their time cracking walnuts looking for pearls. And he won't have to crack one walnut. So he's sitting there and he's waiting, and he doesn't have to wait long. Because down the road comes a woman. Basket on her arms with some butter and eggs. She's going to see what she can get in the market. And as she comes down the road, there's a little old man sitting there, and he said, "Beautiful day, isn't it?" "Beautiful day for going to the market." "It is. I've got walnuts here. Would you like a walnut?" And he offers her a walnut and says, "Couldn't hurt." He takes the walnut, cracks it, throws away the shell, and starts on into town. She couldn't have eaten that pearl. Nobody's that stupid. Maybe it's this one. Cracked it open. Nope. No pearl, so he ate that, threw away the shells. She wouldn't have eaten it. No. Maybe it's one of these. Crack, crack. Nope, so he ate the one, threw away the shell. Oh, did it fall down inside? Reaches in, grabs a few more. Crack, 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 crack. Nope, no pearl. Eats those three. Oh, please don't tell me she didn't eat a pearl. No one's that stupid. So he starts looking for his pearl. Pulls out walnuts, crack, and he gets down to the last walnut that afternoon, spends the whole afternoon, 50 pounds of walnuts. Cracks open the last one, no pearl. He throws down the walnut. Just my luck. I meet the stupidest person in the world. She actually ate a pearl. And he went on home. He was so angry, he kicked himself. Well, he was angry for 3 reasons. 1, he'd lost a pearl. 2, he'd had to crack all those walnuts. And 3, he'd eaten all those walnuts. He had a stomach ache for a week. But that woman, she went on into town, and she went through the market and where all the farmers were and the craftsmen, and she checked to see what this man had in his wagon and maybe in his stall and in his cart. And when she finally decided what she wanted, she reached into her mouth, pulled out from under her tongue a pearl. And she traded that pearl for 2 chickens and a butter churn. Now that pearl was worth more than 2 chickens and a butter churn, but that's what she needed, and that's what she wanted. So she went on home with 2 chickens in her basket and a butter churn under her arm, happy with her chickens and butter churn. And I like to tell that story because it's nice to know that we don't have to be all the time greedy. And that's the story, Nuts.